engine right there on that hard stand where it was sitting. And I slept on that.
Actually, where's my phone? I've got that Sherman engine, the Continental engine out of her. Let me just show you something, bear with me. A friend of ours restores military vehicles.
Okay.
Alright? Get off. Bear with me.
Have you got the B-17? Oh, that's the engine.
Now that is out of that is out of a Sherman tank, but that's a Continental 9-cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah? So we know you've seen one of them anyway. Without the cowling and that, obviously, but that is the same as that is.
Well, this one that came in had a hole. A flak had hit the case.
Yep.
And it, of course, didn't have any pressure, and it was dead.
Oil pressure. Yeah.
So I took that engine off, changed all the accessories, and put a new engine on, and had it running in 7 hours.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That is what they work. That's a Continental. That's the radial. It's a 9-cylinder.
Did you say they? Am I hearing right that they use that in tanks as well?
Tanks and tanks, all sorts of aircraft.
It's amazing, isn't it? That's great engineering. You can transfer technology like that.
Yeah. Let me just show you.
Do you have a picture of the squadron?
No, I don't actually. I'm just trying to find you.
If you pull up the B7, 487th Bomb Group on that phone right there.
Can I do that? You know what's that?
487th Bomb Group. You should find a picture of the airfield, and if you do, there'll be some things under that that says personnel and aircraft.
Technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
What is this gentleman's name then?
My name?
Yeah.
Raymond Duncan.
Raymond Duncan.
Well, you'll find something different if you pull that up. You'll find things that pictures of in.
See, I found it, but my phone is a real old.
Hang it on, Joe.
Have you got it?
Mark, do you want to have a bit?
I've got 486, it's 487.
487.
We live at Lavenham.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Right in the middle on top.
Right, my
right
feet
on top of
sitting on the propeller.
Right.
Which one's the
Right.
in the middle?
The one sitting right on top of the prop.
In the middle.
In the middle.
That's beautiful.
That is.
That was in 1945, after the war.
That is.
Right at the end of the war.
Which photo did you find that? Which photo did you find there? What was that one? Let's get a bit. So I'm going to try and get a bit closer, shall we? Oh, we can get a bit closer.
Yeah.
There you
that's
are.
me.
Let's have a look at this guy. Oh wow, you're a handsome man.
You are a handsome man.
Did you know your wife by then? You hadn't met your wife by then, had you?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I was called the jilted GI.
That man there.
Really? Yeah.
I got married and came across without ever spending any time in the bed with my wife.
Yeah.
And when she found out I was coming back home, she filed for divorce.
Oh.
Her loss.
I said I was a jilted GI.
You were a jilted GI. I would have married you.
But you know, I didn't let it bother me. I said, I'm going on down the road, and I did.
You were grateful to be alive, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
She got money all the time I was over here, and
Yeah.
I guess she was running around. I don't know what the hell she did and didn't care.
So how old was you there? 19?
I was At that time, I was 24.
24.
I would have been 24 in October of 1924.
Wow.
I mean, 44 rather.
I only get 3G.
I was born in 1920. Or 1920.
Would you like a drink?
No, thank you.
That is.
The only time I drank was when I celebrated the colonel that came down back to the base when he got shot down in France, Colonel Bernie Lay. I volunteered to be his bartender at his party.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, I said, well, I may make it back home, and I started drinking a drink out of everybody's bottle. And I said that ended in good spirits. The party ended in good spirits.
So the nose art that we see on the planes, did you have people that were painting them here on the
These
airfield?
guys that had stuff on there painted that themselves. Somebody, I couldn't paint, so I didn't paint. Now on the B-24, I did scribble in letters about that wide with chalk, Hitler's Gremlin.
Yeah.
But it was shot down 60 miles southwest of Brussels. It never came back, but I'd never know that for 60 years. I never know what happened to it. I found out recently one of the people on one of the airplanes gave me the names of the people that was on that airplane, but I never knew it. That's how they keep us notified with nothing.
Kept you in the dark like mushrooms.
Huh?
As we say over here, they keep you in the dark like mushrooms.
If you want to kill cancer, eat some mushrooms. They're called cordyceps and red reishi.
I found your hut on here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Now
hut
that-
built by Raymond Duncan.
That's right out here.
Yeah.
Wow, you
And
I
I
just
lived in that.
Googled Raymond Duncan.
Let me see that.
487th bomb group. Hang on.
Did you have any heating in it?
yeah,
Do you have a stove in
Your
it?
little hut, look.
That's it. And that little sign said, nightly, 10.
You've got your bicycle parked beside.
What,
look.
whatever happened to that cyclone?
Well, I left it. I don't know.
Some buggers
The
nicked that.
people here will know what it
Yeah, I bet you
happened
they
to it.
did.
That's it. There's his hut. Let's look comfortable.
Wow.
It's just you in there.
Just me.
That was all right.
And the captain never said anything to me about living in that, but the guys who were across from me there in a tent, he said they were doing a little hanky-panky with some girls over in the WLA,
Sorry, we don't do
Women's
that
Land
sort of
Army.
thing.
They was working in the field over there, and so he said get rid of that tent, and they did. And I took their bed and their stove.
It says it's made from Bombay cargo racks.
Yes,
Yeah,
And you actually lived in
out
it?
of B-24s.
Yeah.
And you slept in this
And I slept in that.
on your own, nobody else in there?
I was the only guy living in, and it was better than the barracks. We were in those
Missing huts.
little Quonset huts or whatever they call them.
Yep.
It says here that you were serious about your work.
That's what worker, huh?
Yeah.
What job did you go to after you finished in the services?
I went to work at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City, outside of Oklahoma City, in 40,
Sorry, Mark.
late 45,
Yeah.
and worked there 27 years, and over 60 years ago I was supervising 11,000 people.
Wow. Wow. That's good. So you've got
Air Force
great
Base.
skills. I mean, that's the thing. You could transfer them.
I had an aircraft
Done well.
experience, and so they hired me
Yeah.
right off the bat.
I'll put it in my note.
I started working at, I think it was 72 cents an hour.
72 cents an hour. And when you left the forces, you was being paid how much? How much was your yearly?
About 18,000
18,000. So that was
a year.
1945, 45, 46, 46.
Very
That's
interesting, isn't it?
very interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, that's everything took place according to time. It increased a little bit. So the guy that's doing that same job now is making over $200,000 a year. But I was supervising 11,000 people.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's a pleasure. Absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Pleasure. Shall we crack on?
Yeah, we'll let you chat
Let
to
you-
some
let you
others.
chat
I'm
on,
sure there's others who
because-
want to chat to
Yeah.
you.
We could spend all day. I could spend all day sitting.
Yeah, but you can't.
I really could.
Which way we go now?
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Have a
what you
good day.
did. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. We wouldn't be here if we
No,
hadn't done what we
exactly.
did.
Exactly.
We know that. That's why we
I was going to say, if you give me your number, I'll send you some of the footage.
Yeah, Duke man, you wanna?
You got a number?
Yeah, definitely.
It won't be the best
No.
footage ever.
No,
I
no.
won't give you that.
Oh.
It's not the best.
Thank you
Shall I
for
give you
doing
my
it.
number?
Yeah, give me yours.
yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Right through
See ya.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, the
those slow
ME262s.
B-17s
Yeah, cut them up.
and just
All right.
cut him all to pieces. Blew the left wing off,
Yeah.
and the people that was on that airplane was trying to get out, and
Yeah.
it got into a spiral, and some of them, they think one of the guys in the back end
Yeah.
did not get out.
Oh yeah, because of the momentum, isn't it? You
And
can't
they
get
thought
out.
he might have gone down with the general, because
Yeah.
the general, when it got into that spiral, the centrifugal force kept
Yeah.
him from getting out,
Yeah.
and he couldn't bail out. So he went down and crashed with the airplane.
And what date was that?
And
again?
General Eisenhower sent two majors to find the crash site, and they found two legs below the knee,
Yeah.
the right hip with all the plumbing attached,
Yeah.
the right hand with the thumb, and they identified him as that thumbprint. And that's all they found. And now he was buried somewhere near Hods, Belgium, as I
Yeah.
understand. I don't know for sure.
When was this raid? Just remind me. It was,
That was 24th of December, 1944.
and this is when they hit the ME262s. It must have been.
Yes.
Yeah. And
They
it,
came in ahead
Yeah.
and came right through, and it took him out of the plan that he was in and got him out, but they got hit another bunch of airplanes. We lost out of the 487th from this base 17 airplanes on that one raid.
my God,
That was 170 men.
that's an awful lot, isn't it? So was there much superstition? Did people have like rituals and superstition? You know, because you can't change the risk.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've talked to people that was in some of those airplanes, and I said, "How did you feel?" And they said, "Well, I prayed before I left, and I prayed when I got back." And some said, "Well, if I got hit, I got hit, and that was it."
I hope it's quick.
You just, and that's the way I felt. Whatever I was in
Yeah.
while I was here, I never knew what was going to happen or what would. I never planned for anything.
No, that's dangerous to plan anything. That's right.
Yeah.
And they always say that when you've had leave, you're more in trouble and danger. It's like they used to. Most people who've written books about their service.
Well, there was never any gaiety
No.
from the troops when they got on that airplane, because they knew they was going to get hit.
Yeah.
And some planes did come by that never got hit,
Yeah.
but they were lucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely lucky.
So did most of them get hit by flak?
Most of them got hit with something.
Yeah, and you'd have
Now I've got a picture and a board with that B-17 and the ground crew. I've got the picture of that and all my medals on it, and one of the shells that they used in the guns. It's not live, but I used that as to see what kind of shell it was, and I have a knife out of the limey toolbox that was given to me when I was here, and a piece of flak that would bring down the airplane, and a piece of the buzz bomb that was flown over. I saw buzz bombs fly over here. I don't know if anybody in Lavenham ever did, but it would be at night because there were no lights. But that
B1
thing,
that would be, yeah.
that buzz bomb had a propeller on the front of it
Oh wow.
that turned
Yeah.
so much. They had it programmed to go so much, to take it so far, and it would go down and go off.
Yeah, that's how. Very simple
And
technology.
they were
that.
not accurate.
No.
And I saw one of them go over.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Now I don't know
something.
if anybody in Lavenham ever. They were holed up inside with no lights, so they never knew, I guess, when anything came over. But I saw the airplanes fly over, the Germans' airplane fly over, and the buzz bombs. In 44. I don't know if I saw any of that in 45 or not. I don't remember.
Did you ever hear
recall.
anything? And this is from my angle. Did you ever hear about the Foo Fighters? Did anyone ever mention Foo Fighters to you?
I did not go up in flights. I
No.
flew back to the United States in my airplane, though.
People talked about Foo Fighters as just being this strange thing that happened in 44 to 45. It was a strange thing that people talked about. People, you didn't hear anything said. Nothing.
That's right.
No.
Never did.
No, that's all right. It's okay. But it's great that you're here. I mean, we're all aware of what you've done, like, you know, because every single man of your generation that put his self on the line, you know, we are aware. I mean, it's not well done by the media until recently. The last 10, 15 years, suddenly, they're really paying attention again.
Is that right?
They are, aren't they? There's a lot of really realistic,
Yeah.
because what we wanted was realistic stuff.
Well, I've never talked about this with my girls.
Yeah.
They're hearing a lot of stuff that I never did tell here.
Oh. So that's...
I didn't feel like that I wanted to brag
No.
about what I did.
No. No, you were
But it was an important part of history, and it's important to tell
It's history
your
now.
story.
It's history now.
Well, you took the heart out of the German industry, and their ability to put, like, if they just put a certain percentage more aircraft or tanks or whatever, they could have turned the battles. They could have won. So,
Now, I worked as a management analyst, but
yeah,
had I been in this position this time, I
Yeah.
would have said, we will not spend all of these money going into that area
yeah,
with all those guns pointed at us.
Yeah.
I would have had single airplanes going in there with a bomb,
yeah,
and I would have blown that up and then sent my men in.
yeah, yeah.
We wouldn't have lost all of those people.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
We might have lost airplanes, but we wouldn't have lost men.
That's right, because that's as soon as you put infantry in without air support, that's right, it's a massacre.
What they did was say, put them right out there as shooting ducks.
Yeah,
They were under pressure. They knew they was going to get the shot at it.
yeah,
Why did those generals think that that was the only way they could do it?
that's right. I'm trying to think of the biggest
Look,
losses.
I'm just
Yeah.
looking back over history, which
Yeah.
will not do anything, but
No.
I'm saying that's what had I been in that position, I might have done the same thing as they did. I don't know.
I think they said the Canadians were in Holland, and they had huge losses fighting an infantry war in Holland to dislodge the Germans from the Netherlands and Holland, and they had no air support. They just infantry, and they
Just
were
went
losing
in-
thousands and thousands of men lost.
Just went in right up.
And that's an example of no air support. What happens
Yeah.
when you have no air support? You literally putting
Well-
noughts on your death toll. Yeah.
They had sense enough to build airplanes in the USA,
Yeah.
and we, like I told earlier,
Excuse me, sir. Can I get you a drink?
no thanks, I don't want one, thank
You
you.
want a coffee?
No, I don't want anything. I appreciate your offer.
It's on the house.
Thank you. He said everything was free if I bought it anyway. I lost my train of
No,
thought.
you were about losing troops, and you were talking about you need, that if you were in charge, you would use far more aircraft and less men.
Yes. I don't. Had I been in their position at that time, I might have gone with them, said that. But looking back now, we put those men, and I think that was the only way they figured they could do it.
Yeah.
But I say we should have taken and built a lot of single airplanes.
Yeah, you're right.
To
You're right.
go
Strafing.
in there with one
Yeah.
bomb,
Yeah.
we would have lost airplanes, but we
Yeah.
wouldn't lost a lot of men.
You're spot on. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. Because
But they didn't ask me.
no.
Now, I did work as a management analyst when I went back to work in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Is
this
that where
is.
you were from, Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma City, yes.
Well, funny enough, I'm a chiropractor, and there's lots of chiropractors in
I
Oklahoma.
live right by Lake Hefner,
Yeah.
which furnishes water to Oklahoma City, one of the lakes, and it's
Yeah.
2 miles across it. And I live right by the dam. It's not the dam, it's the dam.
Yeah.
And where was your family originally from that came to America? Do you know that history?
I think that my great grandfather came from Scotland or England. I've been told that they have retraced back into London a John Duncan in 1640.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I've been told.
I was just before the English Civil War, just at the time of the English Civil War, that would have been.
I don't know.
That's when lots of people moved
well,
around then. Yeah.
The Civil War was after that.
Yeah.
It was in the 1800s.
Oh yeah, the American Civil War. Yeah,
Yeah.
the British Civil War was 1600.
Oh,
you
was
see.
the British Civil War?
Yeah, we fought against the king.
Maybe some of
Yeah.
John Duncan came
Yeah.
over to the U.S. at that time.
Yeah,
I
it would have
don't
been.
know.
There would have been chaos. You see, that's the thing. They had this period of time where they actually abandoned. Even the cathedrals were abandoned in this country. People don't realise the chaos when the Civil War was on. Literally, they had animals and hens and cows living in the cathedrals. We had no authority left in the country.
That picture
Yeah,
of the B-17 where I'm
Yeah.
sitting on number 2 engine,
yeah,
I understand that was in a British documentary
yeah.
of World War II
Wow.
about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I watched
And
nearly all
that
of
was
them.
on the British channel. I don't know. I've been told that.
Probably was. Yeah, it would have been. I mean, the BBC did a
So
lot of good stuff.
I guess I've been on the British TV.
Yeah.
Didn't know it.
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, this is living history. I mean, you're one of the last guys who can tell
I am
us.
the last guy out of the 487th Bomb Group.
Exactly. You're living history.
Yeah.
And this is why it's so important. So important. So
You gonna write an article on that?
I'll put it on the web. I'm going to put it on the Facebook and just send it round. But
Okay.
it's like, for me, I'm not a great filmer with this because I'm using just a phone.
know,
but yeah,
That technology has
yeah,
passed me by because I don't have the capability to remember my codes that I need to use.
yeah.
I wish
Passwords
I could.
and that, yeah.
But I've talked to some old people back in home, and they say, oh, we gave our computers away, we've got rid of all of that stuff. We're ready to die. technologists run off and left us. That's right.
Well, the main thing is like, I mean, I studied. I mean, my dad took me from the age of about 2 or 3 to the war museums all the time.
Oh, is that right?
And he educated me properly, and it meant that I understood enough growing up as a kid and now as an adult about what was at stake and what you guys did and what you guys were faced with. And it's like, it is all about education. So the more each generation knows, the less likely they'll allow it again, as everyone knows. And every time people start to forget, it brings us closer to the danger of not realising how quickly this stuff can happen again. So we're grateful for what you've done. Everyone said it to you today, and people recognise.
We're thinking. I thought when Hitler started to take over France, and Italy, and they were trying to bomb the smithereens out of England.
That's right,
that we needed to get in it and do something, and we did.
That's right. Because if England had fallen in 1940...
And I don't know how they put this stuff all together in the USA to build airplanes that fast
to convert
and get them in service to do what we did.
This was the great planners that they converted all the factories into military use. This is the amazing ability, because these were all civilian factories turning in about a year or two. I think we had a guy who was, I'm trying to remember, he was a lord that we sent over, Lord Nuffield was it? And there was Lord Halifax as well, wasn't it? We sent him as Minister of Procurement, I think. But these guys were good at what they did. They weren't fighting men, obviously.
Do you have a card that of your name that you would give me that I would appreciate it?
Yeah. Can you tell me about that biggest raid ever, because that's really important?
On December the 24th, 1940?
Yeah, tell me about that.
That was General Castle listed. Came out to the airport on December the 24th, 1944, to make the largest air raid over Germany, which consisted of 2,034 B-17s and 858 fighter aircraft. He was shot down on that mission, which I did not know, for 60 years. He was told 2 majors to find the crash site. And they did, and they found both legs below the knee, the right hip with all the plumbing attached, the right hand with the thumb mark, and they identified him with the thumbprint. I never knew this for more than 60 years.
Did you actually see the guy himself going? Did you see him?
I saw him try to make 2 attempts to get into the airplane.
Okay.
And but I never knew what was going on, other than he was making a raid mission.
He went there to see how it was all done. He was. They didn't like senior officers.
He was commander of the 3rd Division, but why he chose my group or my airplane sitting there, I don't know.
So
I think he was a friend of General Castle. Of General Eisenhower, and probably the President of the United States. And they picked, for some reason, Colonel Bernie Lay, who was a Hollywood writer, that bomb group and that squadron to lead that raid. I think that's what happened.
Were you looking after the aircraft he got in then? Is that what it is?
And I was crew chief on Heavenly Body, which sat in front of that airplane.
So you saw him get in.
And I saw him get in, and he made 2 attempts to get up into right behind the pilot seat. You get into it from the bottom side. And he made 2 attempts, and he finally made it. And they taxied out, and the last time I ever saw him.
Well, that's very touching. Was he an Air Force general then, or what was he?
He was a lieutenant general.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, look. What was your name? John Duncan.
Raymond Duncan.
Raymond Duncan. Sorry, and your ancestor's John Duncan. That's it. Raymond Duncan. It's a great
Raymond
pleasure.
E. Duncan, Staff Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Raymond E. Duncan. And you're back. Do you come to the UK much? Is this how many times you've been back
This is the first time.
since the days of old? That's amazing, isn't it? Has it changed much?
Well, like I told him, I was over across there by that airplane 15 months. I was never in Lavenham.
Town. No, it's a beautiful town.
He's the only
But
one.
nice to see you. You've done a great thing for all of us. And as I say, I'm going to shake hands now on camera.
Thank you.
You've done a lot. Everyone's grateful, and the people who see this on Facebook and things, they'll be thinking about you and what you've done for us.
I appreciate it.
You've done a lot for us. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.